Okay, good evening, everyone. I'll call to order the regular council meeting for the town of Didsbury for Tuesday, May 26, 2026 at precisely 6 p.m. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining us, those of you in the gallery and folks from the administration that are here this evening. Welcome, everyone. The first item on the agenda is the adoption of the agenda for today. If I could get a motion on that, that would be great.
Motion to adopt the Tuesday, May 26, 2026 Town of Didsbury agenda as presented.
Excellent. Thank you. All in favor? Motion is carried. Okay, that takes us on to item 3 on the agenda, which is delegations. Those of you wondering why we have these fun toys with us, because we have the Didsbury and District Pickleball Club joining us tonight. If you guys would like to make your way up to the microphones, that would be great.
Thank you.
Introduce yourselves and tell us why you're here.
Yeah. This button. Hello, Mayor Little, councillors, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for allowing the Didsbury and District Pickleball Club to come before you this evening to present our proposal for a partnership with the town, hopefully uniting for the common goal of developing 4 outdoor pickleball courts in Didsbury. My name is Kevin Grail. I'm the president of the Didsbury and District Pickleball Club. With me is Larry Bishop, a director for the club, as well as the club's head coach and our court construction expert. The Pickleball Club is a provincially registered nonprofit society and has been officially in existence for a little over a year now, although pickleball has been played in Didsbury for much longer. With the help from the club, Mr. Bishop has put on numerous clinics throughout Mountain View County, from Innisfail down to Carstairs, teaching pickleball and advocating for pickleball play in Didsbury. What is pickleball? Pickleball has been described as the love child of tennis and ping pong, and it lives in a sketchy badminton neighborhood. The sport is 61 years old. It's fast, fun, and easily accessible. It has a low physical barrier for entry and minimal monetary requirements. In other words, it's fast, cheap, and easy to play. It's played indoors and outdoors, and its social aspect is a huge part of the game. In most sessions, you switch partners and opponents after every game, and games last an average of 12 to 13 minutes. This results in a lot of player mixing. If pickleball has a superpower, and I believe it does, it's in its doubles heavy formatting, with constant player rotation, mixing, and lots of socializing. In 2022, these factors and others led to the sport experiencing what could only be called explosive growth. It is currently the fastest growing sport in North America and has held that position for each of the last 4 years. Pickleball participation in the U.S. has grown 479% in the last 5 years, from 4.2 million to 24.3 million in 2025. In Canada, the latest survey shows growth is a more modest 80% over 3 years. Their survey also identified ongoing barriers to participation. The 2 most reported challenges are a lack of information about the sport and a shortage of facilities. The global pickleball market in 2023 was $1.5 billion US, and that is projected to rise to $4.4 billion in 2030. I point this out to show that pickleball growth is not projected to slow down. This continued growth is in a large part caused by the adoption of the sport by younger players. The average age of a pickleball player 10 to 15 years ago was well over 60 years of age. Cotton toppers, like us. Today, the average age is 34.8. Pickleball is being taught in more schools today, and more venues are being built every year to accommodate this influx of new players. Here at home, pickleball has been taught at the Didsbury High School for the last 4 years, and outdoor pickleball courts are strongly supported by the school. We have gratefully received a strong letter of support from the athletic director, which is included in the slideshow. I'd like to highlight, that's tough to read. I'd like to highlight one paragraph in particular. Beyond the school setting, the addition of pickleball courts would greatly enhance the recreational options available to residents of Didsbury. The courts would serve as a hub for intergenerational play, family activities, and community gatherings, strengthening social connections while promoting active living. Why support or play pickleball? Pickleball offers many benefits to players, including but not limited to physically, it provides an aerobic workout up to 600 calories per hour. Its low impact on joints. The smaller court size and less running makes it easier on hips, knees, and ankles compared to tennis or running. And the rapid lateral movements, short sprints, and strategic quick reflex shots enhance coordination and stability. The real big piece here, though, is the social connection. The doubles heavy format makes it highly social, reducing loneliness and fostering communities. It is an intergenerational sport. Parents can play with their kids. Kids can play with their grandparents. The fast-paced nature requires quick decision-making and strategy, helping keep the mind sharp and improve cognitive function. Who is the Didsbury District Pickleball Club? Currently, we have 86 paying members in our club, 60% female, 40% male. The average age is 63. Club members are from all over Mountain View County, and a few come from as far away as Airdrie. The club is currently limited to playing indoors, and we are extremely grateful to have the use of the Zion Church Gym, which is a facility you can see in most of these pictures. We currently run 9 sessions per week. The average session length is 2.5 hours, and the average club attendance per month since the beginning of September in 2025 is 283 a month. This equates to over 700 hours every month of moderate intensity exercise for a group whose average age is 63. I'd like to repeat that. 700 hours with an average age of 63. That's a pretty good health benefit to the community. Our members' ages range from 76 all the way down to 12. And the beauty of this game is that those two players at different ages can play the same game on the same court. I played with them both, and my money, if they did play, would be on the 76-year-old. She's sneaky fast and very crafty. Don't let the smile fool you. Here's some pickleball action from our club, and I'd like you to pay attention to the second court. That's where the action is. Yeah, there it is. The second court, if you can see it. Oh, it's hard to see. They're having a good time. That happens in most of our sessions. I mean, not that specifically, but people laughing and having a good time, it's always there. Now that's us. And now some videos of just a quick video of the pros. It might be better pickleball to watch, but there's not as much fun as there is at our courts.
Happened since 2021.
As you can see, what pickleball is not is mini tennis. We have unfortunately seen other municipalities develop pickleball courts as mini tennis courts without input from the players with less than ideal results, and we'd like to ensure that that doesn't happen here. Obviously, as you can see, the ball is much lighter than a tennis ball, and because of this, it is more affected by the wind. And the playing surface can greatly affect the bounce. Outdoor play in Alberta really requires that there be a windscreen installed around the court and that the court surface be free of bumps or debris. Concrete or asphalt topped with an M mix works best. That's a picture of a court complex in Mountain View County that had to be modified to allow the windscreen to be attached to the fence, a fence that was never designed to handle the wind loads at construction. A small change to the fence construction initially with the windscreen in mind would have resulted in considerable cost savings down the road. As you can see, the paddles themselves are also different than a racket, and as a result, there is a sharper sound produced when the paddle hits the hollow plastic ball. This has led to numerous municipalities dealing with noise complaints from homeowners located next to pickleball courts, and this has resulted in pickleball court location guidelines being developed to mitigate these issues, such as locating courts in or next to existing high noise areas like highways or industrial areas, ensuring an appropriate distance from the courts to the nearest residential property. 500 feet is recommended. The Pickleball Club is proposing a partnership with the town to develop an outdoor four-court pickleball facility. We suggest that it be located at the Didsbury Memorial Park in the southeast corner of the parking lot. This location has the advantage of having a 500-foot buffer from residential properties, and it is close enough to current high noise areas that pickleball noise wouldn't be an issue. It is proposed to be placed on land that the town already owns. As you may have noticed, the court located on the right side is a little larger. This is to accommodate wheelchair pickleball. The overall court footprint stays close to the same, so there's only a small added cost to include this feature. The biggest difference in wheelchair pickleball is the ball gets to bounce twice. The total cost estimates for completed construction ranges from, depending on the pad construction, $269,000 for an asphalt pad to $184,500 for a concrete pad. These estimates include the excavation, pad installation, fencing, windscreen, permanent nets, and a surface top coat. The next slide, there we go. The slide is from a 22-court facility in Red Deer. We would love to have just a small 4-court piece of that. We believe that the quality of the courts matter, and if good quality, they could be a draw for the town and a great community hub that would be used for 3 seasons of the year. All the pickleball clubs in the area, Golds, Carstairs, and Sundry, have outdoor courts, and their organized season runs from mid-May to the end of September. Before mid-May and after September, the courts are still used, but it's more of a short notice, sunny day kind of use. We believe it would be reasonable to expect to see use of the courts through spring, summer, and fall. The club would like to partner with the town to develop this facility. We are aware that a municipality cannot fundraise, but we can. We can fundraise, and we can apply for the appropriate grants such as the small stream CFEP. The club has currently raised over $6,000 since September for the outdoor court project, and that's without going outside the club. We believe that once we have land allocated and an agreement with the town, we can take a more aggressive approach to our fundraising. We can start to approach the business community, land developers, anyone who would benefit from having more amenities in the town and from having more people traveling into the community from out of town. The end goal of the club is to see the community of Didsbury benefit from having access to good quality pickleball courts, and we are willing to do the work to raise the money to get these dedicated pickleball courts. With the town's cooperation and land that is currently unused, and with some aggressive fundraising by the club, we believe that this project could be completed in 4 years. Thank you for your time and consideration. We will now answer any questions that you might have. Yes.
Great, thank you for the presentation on that. I actually learned quite a bit about the game that I didn't understand. Off topic, but on topic. The court that you play on, is that the little area and the blue area is in behind? So I'm colorblind.
Okay,
The areas that are going this way, is that where the ball is in play?
the colored area is where the ball needs to bounce,
Okay.
or you can stand outside there to play the
Right.
ball. But the other area that you need is to give yourself room to play the ball.
Right. Yeah.
So
it just bounces within that little small area there.
yeah, the light blue area in the middle is, we call it the kitchen or the no volley zone. The thing that differentiates the game from tennis is in that area you can't hit the ball out of the air. So you can't stand there at the net and hit the ball down. So it has to bounce. So
Okay,
we call it
so
the no
it came
volley.
outside. Anyway, that's a little off
Yeah.
track of what I was going to
No, that's what makes the sport unique.
The cost now, did you say it was $269,000?
That's correct. For the asphalt, the quote that we got for asphalt, for the spec sheet that we used was from the City of Calgary tennis courts. And when I got that, I was a little taken aback by the cost. And he mentioned that this spec sheet that I gave him would be for a pretty heavy-duty parking lot. Like it's way over, we're talking, I believe it was 700 to 1,000 mil excavation,
Right.
or a pit run, 200 crushed, 60 M mix, 60 B mix, and 40 M mix on top. Way beyond that, but I don't have the expertise in paving. Larry's expertise is more on the concrete.
Yeah, I've built a concrete one at home, and as long as you've got a solid base, clay, on topsoil, and compacted really heavily, then there's no problem as far as concrete with steel in it. And I put in heavy-duty posts like Schedule 40 for windscreen, and don't have any problem with the wind. No supports, added supports. I don't know what else to tell you.
Yeah, that was why the cost, I believe that's why the cost, the differential is so high. It's because the spec sheet for asphalt is crazy. Like it's a really, really high level of under there.
Yeah, actually, I was surprised at the cost. I thought it was more than that.
Oh, is that right?
It was a
Oh,
pleasant surprise to see the cost. That's why I just wanted
yeah.
to confirm that that's what I had heard. So thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for the presentation. I'm thinking along the lines of like sport tourism wise. I know that generally within badminton, it's recommended to have at least 5 courts to do tournament play, tennis 6 courts to do tournament play. Is there a recommendation, or is the 4 courts kind of the recommendation to have tournament play? Thinking around sport tourism, being able to bring in events.
I don't know if there's really a recommendation for a minimal. Pickleball is really good that as long as, I think we schedule for 5 players per court. The more courts you have, the more players you can invite to your tournament.
We were just trying to keep the costs down. We originally were drawing it up as 6 courts,
Yeah.
and we thought we would try and keep the costs down till it got more support through people playing, and it would be easy to add another
Yeah.
extra courts on. It's not a
On the west end of that, what you see there on the west end, there's room for more development. You could easily add a couple more courts there.
Sorry, I'm searching for it, but could you remind me how many members you guys have?
I'm sorry?
How many members you have in the club?
84. Yep.
Did I hear 9 sessions a week right now?
We do, yep.
So what, twice a day on a couple of days? And
Yep. Yeah, we have different level. We have level-based play. So we have a beginner session on Saturdays. We have a novice session Saturdays as well. We have a lot of open play, and then we have an advanced session. People like to have, they want to play in a good facility, and they want to play a challenging game. The beginners, the novices, are there to have fun. They don't want to, the hard hitting, they're not into that. They just like to hit the ball and laugh. And so it's a different game. So we have a special time for them.
Just a quick question. You mentioned during your presentation about needing the court to be, free of obstructions and usable all the time. What's the, I guess, what is the maintenance like in terms of keeping it clean? Like how often and what level of, people out there sweeping it every day type thing? And also, what's the wear and tear like? I imagine with a ball this light, it's probably not impacting it, but just from, let's say, consistent use, like say
Yep.
the numbers you see at the Zion Church, but there,
Yep.
assuming it were to be built, what's the longevity like?
I'm currently in my 7th year at home where I've built a court, so the surface on an outdoor court is said to last between 7 to 10 years. The cleaning, I go around every time I'm going to use it and blow the dirt off it. Other than that, and I wash it spring and fall kind of thing, and that's about it.
The nice thing about that location as well is there's no trees close by. I play in Olds. There's trees right beside there, so you've always got all of the debris from the trees that's got to be cleaned off first. Same with Carstairs. Here, there's really nothing, so we're not anticipating that being a problem.
Longevity-wise, on the 2 different types of courts, which one is asphalt, the one that seems to, as long as it's done properly, like you said with...
If it's done properly, it shouldn't really make a difference. The biggest downfall with asphalt is larger trees close by. Their roots will make a mess in a few years, where concrete is not as susceptible as that. The other problem is ground. Like if it's not prepared well enough, rocks will travel in the ground and eventually push up asphalt, where concrete is more. I think it's a longer term solution, providing it's done properly.
That's the key.
Yeah, thanks for your presentation, and I've played 5 games of pickleball in my life, so it is fun.
Yeah, it is.
Asphalt or concrete? Concrete can get a lot of cracks in it if it's not done right.
Yeah.
So the base is very important for concrete as well as asphalt.
Yeah.
And so the price that's been talked about for the concrete, what's the preparation and how thick, and Do you know those kind of things related to the quote?
We don't know what the base is like on that. We don't know what the base is like underneath that facility where we have. We haven't had any
Soil testing or,
testing or anything done on it. I found like I put in just 1/2-inch rebar, 2 foot square, 2 foot centers, everything, and mine is I made it 2 by 6, 5.5 inches all around the edge and thinner in the middle, kind of thing, to save a few dollars on concrete. But I do have some hairline cracks. Nothing similar. Nothing's going to bother when I do resurface, which I'm planning to do next year. The acrylic paint will just fill in those little hairline ones. Any of the ones that are, if I've got a little bit of spalling, I'll just use that top coat on it, like the for concrete filler. And I don't anticipate any problems that way.
the quote itself I don't have with me right now, so when I went into the one that's here, I gave them the court dimensions and told them the use, and they came back with that quote. I can get you that information though as the construction that they quoted for the fill and stuff if you'd like.
I'm interested because I've been in that business before.
Oh, sure, yeah, for sure.
And I know that cracks and adjustments, I can't see how it can't affect the way in which the tripping hazard for for the court and also for the ball. And I'm glad to see you're planting it in a place where there's no trees.
Yes.
I don't see many trees that are close there, but because that's what happened with the badminton or the
Tennis.
tennis courts up at Butte there, where the tree roots keep it.
Just-
forward.
yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'd be interested in seeing that.
How do I get that? I mean, okay, yeah, I'll get it to Jocelyn.
Thank you. So then, just so I guess maybe we're clear on what the ask is eventually, it's not a decision for us for today, but you would like to fundraise and get grants to help pay for this, and then the ask to the town is that we provide the property to do it?
That's correct. Yeah.
What about maintenance and long-term care?
Long-term care, again, I would think that would be the club's responsibility. The top coating that goes onto that we talked about being replaced every 7 years, the cost of the windscreen is negligible. When we get looking 20 or 30 years, I don't know what that's going to look like, but I know short-term for the first 10 or 15, I would assume that the club would take that responsibility on. That would be, we'd agree on something with that for sure. It'd be written up.
Other questions?
Yeah, just location. The parking lot access over to the Bull Diamonds to the southeast of the court, it blocks that unless there's access, they would have to come around to the north side of the court.
I don't,
To the pathway. It's, right now, people in the parking lot will directly across that area to access the pathway going south.
okay. No, I see what you're saying. So you're saying that would block off access to the walkway on that southeast corner of the pickleball courts. Is that correct?
Right. I don't see enough room there.
We didn't
Sorry,
have,
I don't see enough room there south the court, and maybe it's just a concept drawing, so it could be adjusted as needed, but
it could, our concern was if we did leave room between there, it would be, you've got a chain link fence on the south side, and you're gonna have a 10-foot with the windscreen on the other side. It'd just be a place to gather trash. So we were gonna put it closer so that there wasn't that issue, but we're open. We'll accept any kind of feedback.
I think you made your own point, Norm. I think it's a concept drawing, and that there's a lot more to be done on this before it gets finalized.
yeah.
Anything further? No? Okay. Thank you very much, Dominic.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great day.
These are ours now, Martin,
I'm sorry?
or these are ours now? or-
Not so much, no. Can't go that far.
You're welcome.
Somebody was going to gather them up afterwards, I was told. Or we could do it now, okay.
Yeah, let's do it before we move on to the next item.
They were just hoping to get this very quickly.
I thought maybe we were gonna have a match or something. I wasn't sure.
Oh, she's,
You gave it to.
she's got it there.
Thank you. Excellent. We're all organized? Okay. That takes us on to item 4 on the agenda, which is adoption of minutes from the last council meeting. Everybody's had a chance to review those. Kurt, go ahead.
I move the council adopt the May 12th, 2026 regular council meeting minutes as presented.
Excellent. I'll just make sure there isn't any comments or questions before we vote, but thank you.
There's a, who motioned to change the council schedule for June, isn't mentioned, I motioned that. So maybe we could put a name in there. And then
Okay.
as,
So I need to
As amended.
change my motion to read as amended.
We're good with that? Or do you want Kurt to restate it? No, that's fine. Excellent. All in favor of the motion then? Motion is carried. Thank you very much. Thank you for clarifying that, Norm. All right, that takes us on to section 5 of the agenda, which is public hearings. Section 5.1 is the municipal development plan amending bylaw 2026-11. Just a second here. Okay, so council will recess the regular council meeting, and I will call to order the public hearing for municipal development plan amending bylaw 2026-11 at 6:27 p.m. This public hearing is to consider municipal development plan amending bylaw 2026-11, which would amend summary and goal, I think that's supposed to mean amend the summary and goal of the live, work, neighborhood policy area within the MDP to incorporate more support for mixed use and moderate to high density multi-unit dwellings. Bylaw 2026-11 received first reading on April 28th, 2026. The chair of the public hearing has the right to limit the time taken by each person to 5 minutes, after which council may wish to ask questions of the person. All questions must be channeled through the chair of the hearing. In accordance with the procedural bylaw, this public hearing is available through the Zoom link on the Town of Disbury website. For those participating virtually, we ask that you please use the raise hand function when questions or comments are called for from the gallery. Those speaking are asked to please state their name, municipality of residence, and if they are speaking in favor or in opposition of. Okay, so we did the presentation, I guess, from the administration on the bylaw? Thank you.
Thank you, through the chair. I didn't prepare a formal presentation for the most part. As you can see in the RFD, the red strike-through text is what is currently in the MDP, and then the black text following is the recommended change. So if we just go to page 9. So this is just showing you the area that this policy area covers. So as you can see to the west, there's quite a bit of undeveloped area, and then it does incorporate some existing developed areas. So it just would make sense to allow for a higher level of mixed use or mixed type developments within the area. So that's what's driving this proposed change. The MDP bylaw was in the paper and on the website, and administration received no concerns or calls or questions about this. It seems like it might be an okay change with the MDP. I have no further comments. If you have any questions, I'm available.
Okay, excellent, thank you. So for municipal development plan amending bylaw 2026-11, do we have any questions from council? Go ahead.
I don't see in there the Alberta Alberta Energy Regulators risk area from the loading dock to the north. And if I remember my MPC involvement, I believe that takes in most all of that area that's highlighted. So I just wondered how you've considered that in terms of residential development up in that area, because I have understood over the years, municipal planning commission, that the movement towards the northwest of town is for commercial and industrial because of that risk area associated with that loading dock, and just wondering how that's been considered.
Thank you for that question to the chair. So it has been considered, and any application that comes in, if it was for residential, we'd certainly circulate to that facility to have them be aware, and so that we can have a look at what their emergency response zone is. It would make sense if you were to look at it from a developer's point of view and the cost of bringing services to be more to the south end of this area. You're closer to where services are, and it would be a less costly adventure to have it more towards the south. So yes, that has been considered, and in any application when we have developers come in, we would have a pre-application meeting, and that emergency response zone would become part of any discussions should they be looking to propose something more in the northerly part of this area.
Through the chair, just a concern that pretty much the whole area is in that, and I am, in my knowledge and experience, the AER doesn't budge on allowing residential in those risk areas, but maybe it's changed.
So through the chair, so my understanding for the emergency response zone is much for that facility that's there just north of here as it is for the Alberta Energy Regulators. The Alberta Energy Regulator would regulate setbacks from oil and gas facilities and, for instance, sour gas wells and sour gas pipelines, and they have very stringent regulations regarding that. So when we look at this one, you can also see there is some residential to the northwest or the northeast just outside of this. And when that area structure plan was proposed, circulated, and provided to the facility operator in that area, he was concerned with residential coming that close, and that likely would be the closest residential of single detached dwellings or homes like that in that area. And what would happen is, if that was to be developed, they would just have to have a look at their emergency response zone for that area. He was the operator for that facility up in that area, was part of the public hearing process and the circulation for the Creekside area structure plan. So he's well aware of residential already being up there. However, like I said, I think it would make more sense to be more to the southern portion, and we'd certainly tailor those kinds of proposals as we go through with developers coming forward.
Unless you want to ask.
No, I don't see another hand, that's it.
So the purpose of the change of the MDP is this area is designed to support commercial development alongside moderate to high density residential growth. And I wonder if that is, if it's not going to be allowed in that area, for example, why is it being changed from what it originally has been saying, which doesn't include the residential?
Thank you, through the chair. So we're starting to see some interest in creating some of this. We have that new district that was just created in the MVP, or in the land use bylaw, the RC2 district, that considers the residential commercial high density. We're starting to see some interest with creating or redesignating properties to this district, and it is more in the southern end of this. If we were to change and consider something a little different than what's presented, we would have to go back to the table, and then we'd likely be looking at doing another bigger change to the MDP, which would be creating another policy area and carving this one up even more. And so it's through, as I said, a review of something coming in, and let's have a look at what we're proposing. It would seem to make more sense, as I indicated earlier, to have a look at where the costs to bring servicing in firstly, and I think that's why we would see these types of proposals more to the southern end of this area, as opposed to the more northern end. And when you get also to the northern end and the railway goes through there, that may or may not impact some people's proposals, but we feel that the focus would be allowing the MVP to consider it. Not all applications would get approved or even go ahead, but this allows us to have an area that has already been called Live Work Neighborhood. It was adopted as that name. So it allows for consideration outside of the small suites that could be considered already. It just allows for a little bit higher density, closer probably to the highway, closer to where services are. And also closer to where there's some existing commercial development where some residential growth would help support that development in the southern part of this area.
So if I can just clarify, you said there's some interest that's been shown in the southern area, or are we talking southeast or southwest? So up by the 582 or down by where we have sort of commercial already?
The interest is kind of south-central, south, and then a little bit more to the east at this point.
Okay. Excellent. Any further questions? No? Okay, excellent. I'll take comments or questions from the gallery or from Zoom. For those that are in favor, please. Excellent. I'll take comments or questions from the gallery or Zoom for those who are in opposition. Okay. Excellent. Any additional comments from the administration team?
Thank you, the chair. No further comments?
No. Thank you very much for the excellent explanation. Appreciate it. Any additional questions from the council? Okay. Excellent. Is there anything additional to add, or are there any more comments before we close this public hearing? Okay. Hearing none, I declare that the public hearing is adjourned. If council has enough information to render a decision, and the regular council meeting shall reconvene at 6:38 p.m. Excuse me. Okay, that takes us on to item 6 on the agenda, which is the CAO activity report. Have any comments or questions from the councillors on the report? All right, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for the report again, and you mentioned that the province's recent changes to legislation impacts municipalities in terms of the amount of pages, I guess, or points that are added or whatever. So my question would be, how has and will the increased pages of the legislation impact administration time challenges to deal with the changes?
So in general, the lawyer answer is it depends. But the example was given just to sort of demonstrate, A, how much the province has looked at the Act and how much it's increased in size, and B, how many times compared to the 1994 Act, which was kind of a groundbreaking at its time when they brought it in, compared to the new one, the number of times that regulations and minister is mentioned. In the old Act, we had a lot of leeway with our natural person powers in the 94 version to do a lot of things, and now I guess the message that we were sort of hearing at the convention was that this provincial government and these amendments seem to suggest a more top-down prescriptive approach, and they are taking control of some things. And I guess in defense of the province, I would say, we certainly have made the headlines as municipalities in general in the last few years. And maybe they're feeling it's time to step in and fix some things that the Act was maybe silent on, or there were loopholes, code of conduct being a big one, right? That's changing now with the new process from the ombudsman and things like that. Well, I think an ethics counselor or commissioner is that the province is bringing out. So it remains to be seen, depends on the issue, but every time they create new regulations, chances are it does add hours to our day. It just depends on the area. Some changes will have more to do with rural municipalities and linear assessment. Some changes will have more to do with hours where we may have a high volume of FOIP requests, or now they're called ATIA requests, right? So it just depends, I guess, on what theme or topic you want. But one of the big ones that's come down for us is the new privacy legislation. There's a lot of work there, doing the privacy impact assessments, which we were getting started on, getting a privacy management plan together to meet the new legislation, things like that. So we just keep waiting to see. In the last Election Act overhaul, there was a lot of changes there. And even in 2018, they were working on changing the MGA for public participation, which was some positive changes to give the public more of a voice in that legislation. So it remains to be seen specifically how long it would be, Councillor Quantz, but in general, the Act is bigger, the minister is in it more, there's more references to regulations. To me, that seems to suggest, we're going to have a lot of oversight from the province looking down and managing processes or setting hard targets or hard timelines for new processes. It's a helpful answer or no?
Just one follow-up comment. Yeah, that's helpful. The purpose then of sharing that is an awareness for council, is what you're really giving to us.
Yes, it is. My history, I was elected and served time in office in Vegreville from 13 to 17. And we were under the old MGA. And I remember many conversations with my colleagues around the table and them sort of saying, these are very open guidelines. And we have a lot of ability to interpret what it means and then run programs and policies. But I guess I felt it important to put in because now the contrast is it's getting back to the old school way where, for example, as the presenter at the seminar I attended said, if you want to know if you could do a fire service, you had to look in your 1985 Municipal Government Act. And if it wasn't in the list of services you could provide, you couldn't do it, right? But then under the overhauled MGA, you can have municipally controlled corporations, you can do a lot more corporate things as a municipality. I'm wondering if the province is going to kind of start to rein in on that freedom for us. Maybe it comes from a feeling that it hasn't been taken up very well by the municipalities or productive. I know this is still in alignment with what Minister Williams said. Correct me if I'm wrong, Your Worship, but when we had our meeting at AB Munis, he said, I just want to see you guys get right back down to core service to the property, deliver it well. There's a lot of municipalities that are lost in the weeds on that. And I think that was a mandate that he received upon his election to that office.
Councillor Stevens, was your question on the same subject matter, or was it something different?
Mine's been answered.
Yours been answered? Okay, never mind. So, if I was reading between the lines of what you're saying, would you say that this is taking away some autonomy from municipalities and kind of own our crafts, as it were?
Maybe to some degree. It's certainly getting rid of some of the gray area in which we used to operate in the last couple decades. Yeah. So if that's the feedback they're getting from the top, I'm wondering what drives that. It may be just, like I said, looking at the discord certain municipalities find themselves embroiled in, and maybe they're just trying to get them focused back on core service delivery, clean, hard, and fast. Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Any other questions or comments on the CAO report? No? Okay, if I could get a motion, then that'd be great.
I move to accept the Chief Administrative Officer report for May 26, 2026 as information.
Excellent, thank you. All in favor of the motion? Motion is carried. Okay, that takes us to bylaws and policies, 7.1, MDP amending bylaw 2026-11. So this is the subject with which we just had public hearing. I'll open up the floor for conversation, and then we'll get a motion after that. Anything anybody's thought of in the last 5 minutes since we discussed it? No? Okay. Excellent. If I could get the first of the two, that would be great.
I move the council grant, excuse me, second reading to MDP amending bylaw 2026-11.
Excellent. Thank you. All in favor? Motion is carried.
And the council grant third and final reading to the MDP amending bylaw 2026-11.
Thank you. All in favor of the motion? Motion is carried. Thank you very much. That takes us to item 7.2, bylaw -2026-12, rates, fees, and fines amending bylaw. Everybody had a chance to review this in detail? Okay. I'll open up the floor to questions or comments.
Thank you.
Oh, I just was going to have her describe it a little bit.
Oh, sure. Yeah, if you'd like to.
Not
Yep,
her,
absolutely.
the whole.
Yes.
Thank you. So through the chair, what you're being presented with this evening is the recreation rates, fees, and fines that administration is proposing. So we did a full rate review over the last couple of months. We typically do them kind of every 2 years, and it was time. So we look at our neighboring municipalities that are sometimes competitors with us with some of our recreation services and rental spaces and things like that, and kind of try and fit in the middle. And so what that has equated to and what's being proposed is it's an approximately 2% increase. Sometimes it's a little bit above, sometimes it's a little bit less, but it works out to about 2% across the board. We are suggesting a couple of additions and changes within the rates and fees just to clean up some areas that kind of got a little confusing. So I've listed those on the RFT cover page. Most notably is that in the arena main ice surface and arena leisure ice surface, we were specifying programs like sticks and pucks, shinny, public skate. We're just gonna, and they all had the same rate. So instead we're just gonna do arena main programs. We've offered a couple levels, an individual rate, a family rate, as well as we're asking for the addition of a 10 and 20 punch pass for those surfaces, and we've done the same for the leisure surface. A babysitting course that we offer is being added in there, as well as some of our national life-saving clubs that we run through the pool. So those are new to this this presentation for you this evening, but I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have.
Thank you. That answered actually a few of my questions. That leaves really just one. Related to the punch passes, the 10 times and 20 times individual ones, seeing the 2% increase, mostly amounts to somewhere between 1 and at the most like $10, depending on what the service is and how much it is. But I guess I'm curious how punch passes work in terms of, like, this seems, it is a new concept, right? A new system for it. And I guess, could you just explain how it works for families and individuals?
Sure. So with the punch pass, if you bought one and because you loved playing roller hockey, so essentially you're getting 10 entries for the price of 9, and on the 20 you're getting 20 entries for the price of 18. That's how we've kind of scaled back to give them a bit of a discount. They don't expire. They just would get a card. They'll scan in when they come in, and it comes off of their total that they have.
Just as a follow-up, I like the idea. I'm glad to see. I was curious I assumed there would be some sort of you're essentially buying ahead in bulk, so I assumed there would be some discount rate, so I was just curious what that was. Thank you.
Yeah, just further to that, if you don't mind, that we've been requested from a lot of our patrons, especially when the kids are out of school, then they're having to send them with their money or the bank card. It takes care of all of that, and they just scan in, makes it nice and easy, so.
Excellent. Anything else? Oh, sorry, Bob. Good.
I do. Amongst all the slight fee increases, I'm glad to see a reduction in the advanced courses section for lifeguarding, and I hope this will help attract more young people to train for these excellent employment options and fill a need at our pool. So, thank you.
Yeah, I'd just like to echo Councillor Kwanz's comments on that, as well as just a clarification. So the assumption is that junior practice rate versus junior games rate is based on a flood. Is that why the increase in amount of fee?
It's actually based on the level of staffing that we require, because we do need 2 on shift when we have a game in play. And also the amount of work that comes with the game. So if you've ever seen the arena after a Colts game, that's the reason for that little bit of a price difference.
Thank you. And then the in-ice advertising, you have that range between $370, $560, $335, $460 for a second advertisement. Generally, just based on the size of the in-ice advertising?
Yeah, so it's a little bit vague because, number one, we do have some in this season, but it has not been a huge request. But it really will depend on the size of the ad, but also the placement. So we recognize that there's much more prime locations within the ice surface. And so those would come at the high cost on there. And the ones where maybe you're just wanting to put something small in the ice, we would kind of price those at the lower end.
Anything further? Okay. Excellent. Thank you very much for the explanation. Well, appreciate it. I guess I'll ask for the first motion then.
I move that council grant first reading to raise fees and fines, amending bylaw 2026-12.
Thank you, Troy. All in favor of the motion? Motion is carried. Continue.
I move that
I'm sorry. I wanted to mention that with the bylaw, we're asking that these rates all go into effect on July the 1st of 2026. So there is going to be a little bit of a gap. It allows us time to advertise to the patrons so that they understand, gives us time to let our user groups know. So I just wanted you to be aware of that before you go ahead any further.
Okay, sorry, I'll pause you for half a second then, Troy. Michael, is there anything that we need to do substantially to change this, because it's not going into effect when this passes, which is right now, which is how it would normally work?
No, it's good if it's still set for July 1st.
Okay, it's fine.
It says at the bottom, this bylaw shall come into effect on July 1st, so it's not immediate. On page 18.
Oh, I pulled the bylaw out. It's over here. Okay, thank you, Perfect. Thought I was losing my mind for a second there. Okay, excellent. Hey, want to go ahead, Troy?
I move that council grant second reading to raise fees and fines, amending bylaw 2026-12.
Excellent. Thank you. All in favor? Motion is also carried.
I move that council grant unanimous consent to proceed to the third and final reading of rates, fees, and fines, amending bylaw 2026-12.
Thank you. All in favor of the motion? Motion is carried.
And I move that council grant third and final reading to the rates, fees, and fines, amending bylaw 2026-12.
Excellent. All in favor of the motion? Motion is also carried. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Excuse me. That takes us to item 7.3, which is the land use amending bylaw 2026-13. Has everybody had a chance to review this? Okay, we'll open up the floor to questions and comments. Go ahead, Will.
Just one question that was raised to me by a couple of members of the community. Just how the amending of or rather, how the plans for this land affect the July 1st Canada Day plans by the Didsbury Museum that will use this property, as I understand they have for at least the last few years. If there's any sort of considerations already in place for that for this year.
I'd have to go back and double check that the condition date and everything doesn't close before July 1st.
It's 15th, I believe.
It's 15th, then it shouldn't have any bearing on any plans currently set for that park on the 1st of July.
I was going to answer, but you seemed like you were ready to, so I'm going to leave it to you. Thank you, appreciate that. Further questions? Go ahead.
Just the wording that obligates a public consultation. That is if the land is used for commercial mixed uses, multifamily, and institutional uses.
Can you highlight where you're getting that from, Norm, just so we're all on the same page?
Yeah, I failed myself here. On page 28,
Okay.
the second bullet under character under 2.3.3.
Okay.
It says, I'll just read it, new residential development in this area should be single-family housing, multifamily housing, semi-detached housing, commercial, mixed use, and institutional. Commercial mixed uses, multifamily, and institutional uses may be allowed where deemed appropriate through public consultation. And so that only leaves the single-family housing without the consultation. Am I right?
Yeah, if I read that correctly, that is correct, but I'll ask for clarification.
Thank you through the chair. So that is the policy out of that area redevelopment plan. So what I was demonstrating here is just we had a look at that area redevelopment plan. The public consultation for this redesignation is going to happen and let all the neighbors know that we are considering doing a redesignation to a new district. So that will satisfy the public consultation that's discussed within that area redevelopment plan.
The public hearing that'll happen in...
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Further questions? No? All right, excellent. I guess I'll ask for a first motion. Okay, Kurt.
I move the council grant first reading to land use and amending bylaw 2026-13.
So, thank you, Kurt. All in favor of the motion? Motion is carried.
And to set Tuesday, June 23rd, 2026 as the public hearing for land use amending bylaw 2026-13.
Excellent, thank you. Motion.
Question.
Oh, sorry.
Should these public hearings have a time on them, or just the day is good enough?
We will have them timed to coincide with the council meetings. We will put that in the advertisement.
Excellent. Oh, you okay? Never mind. I thought maybe you wanted to restate it. It's all good. All in favor of the motion? Motion is carried. Thank you. Sorry about that. Okay, that takes us to item 8.1, which is the Municipal Reserve Disposal Plan 0514037, Block 18, Lot 1. Everybody had a chance to review this, and I'll open up the floor to the comments, questions. No? Okay. All right. If I could just ask for a motion then, please. Go ahead.
I move to council to set Tuesday, June 23rd, 2026 as public hearing for the removal of the MR designation interests within Plan 0514037, Block 18, Lot 1, 2134 22nd Street.
Excellent. All in favor of the motion? All right, motion is carried. Thank you. Okay, and this takes us to item 8.2, which is the reserve bids for tax sale properties in 2026. We have 4 properties that have met those conditions and need to be put up for bid. I'm sorry, where's the date? Thank you, September 16th. Is there any questions, comments around? Yes, go ahead, Will.
Just a quick one, and this might be a faulty memory, but I always check where these addresses are, just kind of curiosity and research. And I thought that 1813 16th Street was one that we looked at previously at a meeting, gosh, a while ago. And I was just curious if something had either not occurred that was supposed to, or if this is just part of the way it proceeds normally. I just thought it was odd to see it twice, and I wasn't sure what that meant.
So, if the property if the arrears are paid in full, or the homeowner has entered into an agreement before the date of the auction, then the auction is canceled, essentially. And so, while I can't get into this specific case, there are potential opportunities that occur that cause the property to come off the list and then go back up if certain terms weren't met.
Okay. Other questions? Go ahead.
Just a procedural question in the way in which the motion would be made. Is it better to make the motion with all those details and then also in the follow-up motion, all read the whole thing, or is there an abbreviation option?
Make the motion with the details.
You want to take this? Okay. Well,
Okay, I move to approve the reserve bids for the properties designated for the 2026 public tax recovery auction scheduled for September 16th, 2026 at 2 p.m. at Town of Didsbury Council Chambers as follows. Roll number 17800 for $207,020. Roll number 302000 for $376,500. Roll number 403000 for $287,400. And roll number 607000 for $263,200. And to establish the following terms and conditions for the 2026 public tax recovery auction. All parcels of land offered for sale shall be...
Sorry. Oh, this is two separate motions. I apologize.
That's okay.
I thought you were just going to correct the one thing, which is the first roll number was 178000. Just to clarify that, sorry.
Sorry I interrupted.
No, it's all good. It's all good. No, it's good that we catch each other's little tiny mistakes. It's perfect. All in favor of the original motion? Motion is carried. Well, you want to continue?
And to establish the following terms and conditions for the 2026 public tax recovery auction. All parcels of land offered for sale shall be purchased on an as-is, where-is basis. The successful bidder must provide a non-refundable deposit equal to 5% of the successful bid price in cash, certified check, or bank draft payable to the Town of Didsbury immediately upon the closing of the bid for that specific parcel. The balance of the purchase price must be paid by certified check or bank draft within 15 business days of the auction date. Failure to pay the balance will result in the forfeiture of the deposit. Goods and services tax, GST, will apply to all applicable properties and is payable by the purchaser over and above the successful bid price.
Excellent. Thank you. All in favor of the motion? Motion is carried. Thank you very much. That was a mouthful, so great job. Okay, that takes us to item 8.3, which is the Mountain View Senior Housing Foundation Golf Classic. I think everybody had a chance to review this, and open up the floor. Questions, comments?
Okay, well, talking a lot tonight.
That's okay.
I guess a disclosure, not a conflict or anything, but as a member of the Mountain View Seniors Housing Board, I'm going to be at this in a volunteer capacity, regardless of what decision is made tonight, separate from this.
I don't see there's any kind of conflict, but I'll ask for clarification from the conflict experts.
No conflict.
Appreciate it, thank you.
Funding for this was, I believe, it was captured in the budget, so this is more of a go ahead and cement your level of support as per the recommendation, and we're good to go.
Excellent. No, transparency is great, love it. Thank you. Any other questions or comments?
Maybe pick your golfers.
Sorry.
Pick who you would like to go through the chair to take a swing.
I would like to nominate Mr.
Nominate.
Mr. Norman Quantz.
Was that for Normandy?
I'm nominating him.
To nominate the queens. All right. It's far too nice that everybody's a little punchy tonight, I think.
There's 4, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think we need to agree that we're going to support it.
That's why I'm
Put in a team first, and then maybe do that second. Right. Somebody want to put forward a motion for the? I think we kind of need two motions here, right? Even though there's only one shown.
I'll do a motion.
Okay, could you please?
I move the council approve a sponsorship to the Mountain View Seniors Housing 16th Annual Golf Classic as a team sponsor for $2,000 to be funded from the council promo and public relations budget line.
Excellent. Thank you. All in favor of the motion? Okay, motion is carried. Aside from Mr. Quantz, does anybody want to nominate anybody else?
Can I nominate Deputy Mayor Murray? And if you're available, say Mayor Little.
Okay, I think I'd like to see maybe what usually happens, which is some of the administration.
Oh, is that
as
as
well?
well an option as well?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
perfect then. Yeah.
it's a nice opportunity for us to
Yeah, that's
do
even
things in a less formal setting.
Would we have any volunteers from administration?
None who would want to bring your score down. That's all. I would just point that out.
I don't think that we would be worried about that.
You haven't seen me golf yet, Michael.
Okay, well, we'll provide you with some more bodies on the day of.
Okay, so we'll leave one slot open.
Yeah.
Is that what we're gonna do? Okay. All right.
You want a motion?
Yeah, should we be able to get a motion for that? Exactly.
So I move the council approve Councillor Quantz, Councillor Murray, and Mayor Little, and one to be determined administrative team or player to be in the tournament, to represent in the tournament.
Excellent job on the ad hoc.
I don't know if we need a motion for it to move that.
Yeah.
Okay.
All in favor of the motion? The motion is carried. Okay, that's great. Thank you. That takes us on to council reports, which we had 2 written. No, 1 written, 2 written. Michael, did we include that last minute one?
It's on your desks.
Okay, excellent. Is there questions or comments around, let's say, maybe the first one, which is what was the,
The first one was of the Mountain View Waste Commission, and that was just, I don't have anything to add to that.
which is the AGM report, right?
Yes, and yeah, they had a audit in the AGM.
Yeah.
And then the other one was from Pure S, our last meeting, but at the meeting,
At the meeting, at the PRLS, the last meeting, Councillor from Black Falls handed out a package to all the other councillors that were in attendance there, because it's the only time that all the people in PRLS get together usually for the year, because there's so many members of the library system that it's mostly done by Zoom. So there was a package handed out And I just believed the content of the package was definitely material that the councillors of this town should all see, and that was presented at the last meeting.
So because it was only given to us just at the beginning of the meeting and none of us had a chance really to review it, say maybe we can reserve discussion on it until a later date, perhaps. But you can review that in your own time when you have some spare time. And we'll come back to that one. Go ahead, Councillor Collins.
Question,
Mm-hmm.
are you talking about the report that was in here? Or are you talking about,
This year.
okay, so I'm not understanding that how this handout is being entered in now for discussion. I thought we were talking about the Waste Commission comments that he made.
Yep.
And
Did you miss an opportunity to speak on that?
I would like a question on that one. or a
Okay,
comment.
let's take a step back then, that's fine.
If we could?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, okay, just, and maybe this is an accounting thing, because I see it written in other audits as well, but now you're gonna ask me where?
Where is it, Norm?
Under tipping fees.
Okay,
Tipping fees are calculated incorrectly. No significant findings have been identified. So there's some words in between that. But at what point in time is incorrect information drop the significant findings identified comments?
I'd ask you if you can answer that, please.
I think I'm going to need you to clarify the question first. Tipping fees are calculated.
Maybe two of these.
Well, this wouldn't be a question for anyone in this room, unfortunately. This would be a question for the people that put out this report.
Yeah. My thought is it's more general for audits, and so maybe our accountant might understand my question.
Oh, I see. Like Amanda to potentially answer this question somehow?
Thank you for the question. I don't know what the audit test was that they performed. Like why they're saying the tipping fees are calculated incorrectly. They might have been recalculating them or something like that. Or there could just be tipping fees from January or December posted to January, so there's a timing difference. So sometimes in audits, there's, every time in an audit, there's materiality. And if the auditor determines that the amount of the error is lower than materiality, they won't require the organization to post it. So them saying that there's no significant findings or they're not materially misstated means there might have been like a slight error, but overall it wouldn't impact the reader of the financial statements. And that's why I'm guessing it was probably just a timing error where you still have 12 months in the year, so the auditor isn't going to find. Because really you had an error in the first month and the last month, but you had that this year and last year, so over time it kind of washes out. But it could be something you ask the Waste Commission, because if there was a calculation error on an invoice, let's say, then that's something they would want to look into. Are our systems properly calculating invoices? Because if it was one invoice, was it all of them or just one? But in this case, the auditor is saying no significant findings. It was a minimal error. And furthermore, if an auditor finds an error during the audit, they will increase their sample size to make sure that error isn't a bigger problem than just the one item. So they would have looked at all those things to be able to say it's not materially misstated.
Thank you, that helps me get educated. So one other clarification then, is the sheet that we handed out, is this counselor's input as part of the report? Is that why we're dealing with it now?
So, the one that you just got at the start of the meeting wasn't read in, I just received it. I would say that we can bring that back as part of a public package. Consider today just the first time that you're getting the material, because I have just received it as well. I wouldn't give it status in this meeting, I would give it status at the next meeting.
Makes sense? All right, excellent. Are there any other oral reports that anybody would like to give? Go ahead, Norm. See any other hands?
All right. It's coming. So on May the 13th, I was at the Mountain View Regional Water Services Commission Board meeting. Synopsis would be, we have approved the Protection of Privacy Bylaw and Access to Information and Fees Bylaw and Manual. And at our June 10th meeting, the completed update on the website will be presented. And when the website is posted, everyone is welcome to look there to answer their curiosity, even kids, young and old, who want to learn about water, where it comes from to their home and how to best use it. And we'll be able to find that on the website. Even coloring sheets can be printed. Think adult coloring books, okay? You will be able to read agendas, approve minutes, and even view current snow water tracking stations reports and much more. So June is an exciting month for at least this reason. In September, it'll involve a strategic planning session, and then in October, we're expected to begin construction of the 3 holding ponds recently approved with a grant. If there's any questions on that, I'd be happy to answer it. On May the 21st, the Red Deer River Municipal Users Group met in Drumheller discussing some important water issues for our central Alberta region. Further projects of interest include the potential Ardley Dam and the Acadia irrigation pump projects. We spoke online with Mr. Hunter, who's the Alberta's Minister of Environment and Protected Areas, and had an opportunity to hear that the Ardley Dam has a key focus for his department. Our group is monitoring any licensing plans that will be using water from the Red Deer River, including surface and aquifer usage for fracking. And it is looking like a very dry summer again, even though there is above average snow water content in the mountains to sustain river flow volumes in the coming couple months.
Thank you. Any others? No. I have one short one. I'd just like to share that I attended the Disbury High School Cap and Gown on Friday evening. It was a great event. I have to say that I don't think I've ever seen a more talented group of people graduate from high school. The amount of people that were honors students in that class was incredible. I'm sure picking the valedictorian for that class was a chore, trying to pick the most deserving person, because there was a lot of talented people in that room, and I enjoyed getting to speak in front of them, and yeah, I thought it was an excellent evening. Anyway, if there's nothing else, we'll get a motion on the reports, please.
Move that council accept the May 26, 2026 council reports as information.
Excellent. Thank you. All in favor of the motion? Motion is carried. Thank you. Okay, that takes us on to correspondence and information. I believe we have 2 pieces of correspondence. Is there any comments or questions around those?
I'll only mention in brief that the Mountain View Seniors Housing Report to the community is the report that I mentioned at last council meeting.
Okay, excellent. Anything else on? No? All right, I'll just ask for a motion then, please.
I move that correspondence be taken as information.
Thank favor of the motion? Excellent, thank you. Motion is carried. All right, that takes us on to item 11, which is question period. So if there's no, okay, thank you. I'll move on. That takes us to item 12, which is the closed portion of our meeting. So if I could get a motion to do so, that would be great. Bob, do you mind?
Motion to go into closed meeting at 7:20.
Excellent. Thank you very much. All in favor? Motion is carried.
motion to come out of the closed meeting at 7:32.
All in favor of the motion? Third motion is carried. Okay, so I guess we need one motion based on what we discussed in closed, which was an offer that we received. Oh, sorry, thank you, appreciate it. Sorry, we'll need one motion, which is for the offer that we discussed in closed on lot number 1200 in Chance. So if we get that motion, that would be great.
Sure.
It's petrified, I'll get it over here.
I move the council accept the offer on Chance 1200 as presented.
Excellent, thank you. All in favor of the motion? Motion is carried. Okay. Just need one more motion.
I motion that we adjourn regular council meeting at 7:33 p.m.
Excellent, thank you. All in favor of the motion? Motion is carried.